Harriet was extremely efficient and very organized. But if you needed to find a record, you had to go manually to an index book.
It took manpower, labor hours to
an
literally...
index book and find something and then go into the files and look for it. Since that time, in fact, I was the first office to use this software. It's called Laserfish. And it is a scanning system where you can take records and scan them. And there is a search engine attached. And just as one example, if every resolution that the town board adopts is scanned into a system and categorized into its own folder, and then you can go in and put the word Red Mill Road, for example, and every action that the town board has taken, every mention at a town board meeting will immediately come up. Chronological order, however you like to look.
So its own little notebook in a sense, so it creates a file.
And it does the search for you.
Wow.
You don't have to sit there anymore and go page to page through page of a book.
Now, you hear a lot in papers when you hear about either people looking for information or just maybe sometimes even politically they're trying to do something. They come into either the township, municipality, city, whatever it is, and they do something that's called a FOIL. What is a FOIL? Explain to our viewers exactly what a FOIL is.
Well, I'm considered the Freedom of Information Officer for the town of Cortland. And if somebody is looking for a record, whether it has to do with the town board record, planning board record, zoning board, any department in the town, they need to come to my office, or they can actually fill it out online or fax it to me. And where they would specify the piece of information they're looking for, and then I find that piece of information. If it's not a paper or a document that's kept specifically into my office, which many times it's not, I can refer that out to another department. They send me the document, then I contact you, and you come and pick up your document.
So would you say in the last 12 years, has just the way you were talking about that, has even the internet now, even that explosion even made it even 10 times quicker as far as to reproduce any information? Because if I log on to, what is the Town of Cortland's website?
The Town of Cortland has a very extensive website, townofcortland.com. They can go on there, for example, and look at minutes from meetings going back several years. They can. There's so much information on that website. It's unbelievable. You couldn't possibly spend the time to look at it all. So many of the things somebody might have come in the past to file a FOIL request for, they can most likely a lot of times go on and find that information right online. They have streaming video on the website of the town board meetings, of the planning board meetings, of the zoning board meetings.
Oh, no kidding.
So if you don't happen to be watching television at the specific time that it's televised, you can just go on there onto your
so they can click onto a video of the last town board meeting
and
even though they
watch
missed it. It's
right on your computer.
Like their own TiVo in a sense.
Right.
So how big is how many people do you actually oversee as far as in the town clerk's office?
I have 4 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee.
Has that changed much in the 12 years?
It's been pretty consistently.
So even though all this new information age and everything else, you've been able to hold the line as far as adding on additional staff or whatever. I know the supervisor runs a tight ship there, so you probably
she does.
You probably asked her for additional help, but she probably said, "Nope, that's it."
No, I'm fine with what I have.
You're fully capable there.
We're fully capable of handling the workload that's in my office, and
now. What else, like for example, birth certificates, do you handle those? If someone loses one, do they come to you? What's the story on that?
Okay, vital statistics are kept in my office. That includes birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates. The hospital, Hudson Valley Hospital, is within the border of the town of Cortland, so every baby that's born there, their birth certificate comes through my office.
Are you sure? Because there was always a Peekskill in Cortland, always fought between that.
Because years ago it was called the Peekskill Hospital.
Community Hospital.
When they built the new hospital, it's located in the town of Cortland.
So it's actually situated really and fully in there.
And everybody's birth certificate can be found in whatever municipality they were born in. Oh. And Hudson Valley Hospital probably generates about 1,200 new babies, new birth certificates every year.
And then, so let's say I'm at home and I'm looking for something. We have to go to the post office because we're leaving to go to South America, Europe, and we can't find a birth certificate. What's the process?
There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can come right into the office. It only takes 5 minutes. Bring a driver's license, and they're $10.
Even for children, let's say for a child that doesn't have a driver's license or whatever, how do
The parent can come in and get it.
Oh, the parent can.
The parent can
okay.
come in, right.
So what is it? Is it attached to, are the records just at the county level, or are they at the state level? In other words, like how, or is it just the municipality actually carries the one for the locale?
The municipalities all carry the ones for their location.
Mm-hmm.
However, everything is also filed in Albany.
Oh, so there is a state
There
registry.
is another
in a sense.
avenue. If somebody needed to get a birth certificate, they can contact Albany and go through whatever process they have set up there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live in the area, it's very easy to come into the office. It can be done by mail with a notarized letter, if you live halfway across the country.
Now, as far as the town board meetings go, so
Mm-hmm.
everything that's at the town board meeting, now there's a video of it, but do you have to physically type up what was said? Or are you like a recording of, or like not a recording secretary, but do you record everything that's said and done at the town board meetings too?
I'm considered the clerk to the town board, which means not only do I take minutes of those meetings, and now actually, even though we still do tape record them, one of the clerks in my office actually transcribes the minutes through the video streaming.
Oh.
So there's so much new technology that didn't exist before
right.
that makes it so much easier. So, but that's only part of being the clerk to the town board. Mm-hmm. I assist the supervisor and the town board in developing the agenda. I assist with helping write the ordinances and the local laws, the resolutions. Sometimes, some the town attorney does, some department heads do, some I do. Mm-hmm. When a meeting is over, all the items that they've just voted on, which can be 5, 6, 7 pages long sometimes, depending on what time of the year it is.
Right.
Many of it is execution of contracts, which is a lot of paperwork. A lot of it is time sensitive. It has to be filed with multiple agencies of other levels of government within the state.
Just for example, if they had put in for a grant, you have to. It could be a state grant, but you have to put in sometimes, or the county's even part of it, impartial. So you have to send one out.
A lot of the contracts that we do are connected with the state, the county, other municipalities.
Right, intermunicipal agreements, things like that.
Correct.
So that still comes through your desk.
All that stuff comes across my desk at some point. It usually takes me at least a week to get ready for the meeting, and a week and a half afterwards of paperwork.
To finish it off.
Wow. And then by that time, we're just about ready to start a new meeting.
See? So there's a lot that goes on at the town clerk's office.
A lot, yep.
All right, so what are some of your accomplishments, you think, over these 12 years? What are you, I guess, the most proud of?
One of the things I'm most proud of is what I mentioned earlier, the Laserfish program. I was the first one to try that software. It's the software where you scan documents in, and I was using it for records retrieval. You can start out by scanning current documents, like every time we have a meeting, it gets scanned in. But then a lot of times during the summer, if I have access to a college intern or something, then we would try to scan back years. And now we've been able to scan back all the way to the 70s.
Oh, wow.
So when you are looking for a document, it can go all the way back to the 70s. And after other departments saw how successful I was with this program,
they started to tag along.
Other departments started using it, and now almost every department uses that program.
So it almost be like when you go to the library and what is it, when like for a newspaper, let's say they have the most recent, let's say 30 days issues. Mm-hmm. But if you wanted to go back, 20 years into, let's say, the Journal News, they used to put it on those photocopy discs and everything. You kind of took that idea and just implemented it.
It's along that idea, but you don't have to flip through and find it. The software program finds it for you.
Because there's a database and it's already registered in. So there's really the work is actually, the backup is really the work. Once it's done, the software then kind of takes care of it.
And also with that software, we were able to integrate it into my vital statistics so that when somebody comes for a birth certificate, for example, we used to have to get up and go either through, depending on how old the birth certificate was, either manually go through a book and type the birth certificate, or go through filing cabinets and pull it out and type from there. Now the girls sit at their computers, and if your name is Mike Smith, they type in Smith, and up comes a whole bunch of Smiths, and you find the one, and it prints right out onto a birth certificate.
Sure. So like I said, with this internet age,
it's almost
and computers,
instantaneous.
it's instantaneous.
Right.
Now, I don't want to start a little ruckus here, But I had John Sloan, the councilman for the town of Cortland, and he tells me that he's the computer guru, that he's the computer technician.
John is.
So he says everything that came through went through him eventually. True?
John